Hi everybody, I am Donna Stacy and we are on vacation. We're up here in Coburn, Virginia, and we are enjoying Dr. Ralph Stanley's 50th annual Hills of Home Bluegrass Festival, and I'm here with my dad. Say hi, Dad.
Hello everybody, I'm Leonard Stacy and I drove for Ralph 17 and a half years.
And Daddy-O is also known as the Sheriff of Bluegrass Music, and we are having such a great time out here, and we wanted to share with you a little bit of our journey. And so we are on Dr. Ralph Stanley Highway right now, and coming up is Dr. Ralph's house in front of us, and we're going to just take you a little journey up the road here. So enjoy. And if Daddy will hold that for you, you'll be able to see the beautiful sights here.
Now I got my hands in the way. Well, we coming up on Ralph Stanley's driveway right now. Straight ahead of us is Ralph's driveway, right past this low shoulder sign. And right over here is Ralph 2's house. Think we can get it through this fence. We ain't done too. And now there's Ralph Stanley's second's house. And this up here is Ralph's house straight ahead of us.
Which we're going to go see Jimmy a little later.
And we are on Dr. Ralph Stanley Highway. So I hope y'all enjoy the scenery up through here, if I can get it right. We'll be going up Ralph Stanley Highway, and the next road is be Carter Stanley Highway.
Now, is that Lisa's house up there?
This is Lisa's house up here on the hill. That's a nice house.
That's Ralph's oldest daughter. We've been having a good time out here at the festival. Last night we left a little early. They had a big rainstorm come through about dark, so we decided to get off the mountain here before it got dark and rainy and foggy. As you can see, this is an awesome drive through here, but you definitely want to do it during the daylight hours. Tonight, though, we'll probably be up here late again. They got a great lineup for the 50th annual Dr. Ralph Stanley Hills of Home Bluegrass Festival. We are having a wonderful time. Dad, who are some of the people we've already met? Jim Lauderdale was out here doing a show.
Gary Brewer and the Kentucky Ramblers.
That's right, Gary Brewer was out here. Who else, Daddy, did we meet out here? You know everybody.
Well, now today, Friday, May the 27th, we're going to have Larry Ethel and the Bluegrass Mountaineers, David Peterson of 1946, Dave Atkins Band, Nothing Fancy, Whiskey Bent Valley Boys. If you had never seen the Whiskey Bent Valley Boys, just go online and you can see them.
Boy, they put on a show, don't they?
They do the old time, what they call mountain style music.
And they're closing the show out tonight, so I know they're going to be dancing, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so last night, who was out here last night, Dad?
Well, some friends of mine, Tim White was here, and Gary Brewer was still here last night. Jim Lauderdale was here Friday night. Wednesday night. And then he called me from Nashville last night to see if we was all right up here.
See if we got down off this mountain okay. He knew I was nervous about driving down this mountain.
Nervous about driving on a crooked road. She's used to driving on a straight road down in Florida.
Well, yeah, we should mention that we live in Florida, North Florida, but Daddy and Mama are from this area. They're from Pilgrim's Knob and Garden Creek, Virginia, just over the hill from Ralph Stanley. Daddy and Ralph Stanley have been friends since the 40s, and when the Stanley brothers were just beginning to play music, Dad met up with them and was friends over many, many years, and then ended up retiring and driving the bus for Ralph for many, many years. How many years did you drive the bus for Ralph?
17 and a half.
Yeah, somebody has said at the festival they believe my daddy is the only living bus driver that drove Dr. Ralph Stanley. Everyone else is passed on, including Dr. Ralph. Oh, well.
There comes. I didn't get that cold truck.
You didn't get that cold truck? Well, I'm glad we were in this neck of the road, this little wider right through here. But it sure is pretty up here. Now, yesterday a storm come through and It was drizzling rain in the afternoon, and it got down probably the 40s, and drizzling rain. It got a little chilly for us. What an adventure we're having, are we not, Dad?
Yeah, we driving this crooked road, or you're driving this crooked road. I told you I could drive, but you scared of my driving.
Now, yesterday we were up at Clintwood at Dr. Ralph Stanley's museum. So if you've not seen our video footage on the museum, please check our channel here, our YouTube channel, for more video content. But we're just trying to document this wonderful festival. It is the 50th, and Daddy, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first one that Dr. Ralph has not been performed on because he passed on?
Well, I got the one just before he passed on. I got a video of Ralph on his last show.
That was in 2019, and then of course
3 years ago.
The COVID come along, and they weren't able to have the festival for the last 2 years because of COVID, and the state of Virginia pretty much shut everything down for a couple of years. Well, everybody was shut down except our state of Florida, we will say. But so this is the 50th, and we're just happy to be here, are we not?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here for sure.
Good to see a lot of friends Daddy hasn't seen in such a long time.
Here comes us a cold truck. We got that one on video.
We got that one. It sure is pretty up here. So this is the Dr. Ralph Stanley Highway, and it connects to the Carter Stanley Highway, which we videoed yesterday coming up the backside of this mountain. So if you didn't see that video, it's going to be on our YouTube channel also. So you can look for that one.
Here comes another cold truck.
Yep. And he's sticking to his side of the road, so we're good.
Well, we're going to be on Carter Stanley Highway here just shortly.
So this is the road leading up to the festival from Coburn, Virginia. And for Carter Stanley's highway, it comes in from McClure, which is the backside. I would call it the backside of this mountain here. But Dr. Ralph Stanley and Carter Stanley grew up here on the top of this mountain called Smith Ridge. This is where that's why they call it the old home place, the Hills of Home. Festivals up here at the old home place. Now the old house, somebody was telling us, is still here that their mama used to live in.
No, it burned down. The old house burned down.
The first,
Ralph built another one.
But his mama did live in the second home for a period of time before she passed on.
Lucy.
Miss Lucy. But a lot of Ralph's family still live up through here, and of course Daddy knows most of them. They've been coming over talking with us while we've been here. We're also going to take a trip up to and have another video presentation of the cemetery up there.
Here's where you turn. Right here's where you get on the Carter Stanley Highway.
Here
to
we
the
go.
left.
Can you get the sign, Dad?
Well, I don't know if I can get that or not. I can't.
I try to slow down for some of y'all.
Yeah, I got it now.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it's pretty narrow through here. It's much more narrow up through here. So I'll pay attention. But we are going to go over to the cemetery a little later and take another video of Dr. Ralph Stanley's graveside along with Carter Stanley and Ernie Thacker. Some of y'all may remember him. He's buried there too in the family cemetery. And we're just going to go up there and take a look at the old stage. We're trying to document this.
And then
50th
also
annual.
got Ralph and Carter's music coming out of tombstones.
Yeah, so we come up here and we want to document for our family and anybody else who want to kind of join in the history of bluegrass music, because some of you may know Bill Monroe was known as the father of bluegrass, and Dr. Ralph Stanley and Carter Stanley, well, they played with him early on in their careers and branched off and became very well known also in their own right, in their own music group, and we'll call it that. And some of you may know that Dr. Ralph Stanley's music was featured in that George Clooney movie. That was such a good movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Most of you probably have seen that. If you've not seen the movie called Lawless, That's an excellent movie, and it's about, I think it's a true story from back over in here.
It's a true story.
And it's got some
About three brothers making moonshine liquor.
Yes, early days of the moonshine and the prohibition.
True story.
True story. Dr. Ralph's music is also featured in that movie as well. So a lot of history, musical history of bluegrass here in these hills, and of course this is where my roots run deep here. I'm a daughter of bluegrass. Grew up around all these folks, and all my life, and of course my dad's great friends with all of them, including Bill Monroe, and he knows every one of them, by gosh. And I grew up traveling to festivals with my mom and daddy, and they were all kind of like my uncles to me, I felt like, as a child, you know, and loved the music. It's some of the best music. Somebody said, if you hear bluegrass music, you're listening to the sounds of the mountains would make if they could sing.
Well, see, Ralph never called he never did call his music bluegrass. He called his old-time mountain style what they call bluegrass. That's what Ralph always talked about his music. He never called himself a bluegrass man. But he's done the old-time mountain style music, what they call bluegrass.
That's right. And Mountain Soul. Patty
Yeah.
Loveless named one of her albums, I believe it was Mountain Soul. And that's what it is. It's the soul of these mountains. These settlers come over here. Our family came over here in the late 1600s and settled into Kentucky and then moved down into Virginia. Now, our last name is Stacy, and there's a little town called Stacy over back by Grundy, Virginia, and that's where our family have been for, centuries. And Daddy, a lot of your family played banjo and music and sit on the front porch and entertain themselves just playing music too.
Oh, yeah.
They? So I have remembrances of going to some of your aunts and uncles and cousins' house when I was a child, and they'd all be sitting around jamming on the porch. And so this is just my hillbilly roots, I'll call it. I'm proud to claim that I'm hillbilly. I got hillbilly roots. But it is just beautiful up here. It's always an adventure getting up into these mountains. And this time of year, of course, the weather's pretty good, but it's also tricky. It could be a little cold or it could be a little hot. That I noticed yesterday up on that mountain, it was sunshiny and it was nice and warm, and then 5 minutes later it was cold and windy. Oh, here's a good one right here. Let's see if we can get on up here. So some of you may know my daddy, Leonard Stacy, also known as the Sheriff of Bluegrass, was the host of the Swanee Valley Bluegrass Show in North Central Florida. He was also the host of the Bluegrass Express out of Lake City, Florida, along with the trail boss, Jerry Trail. And they hosted that bluegrass show, promoting bluegrass for many, many, many years.
We'll have to give Jerry a copy of this video.
We will. Old trail boss.
Yeah.
Daddy and Jerry have retired pretty much, but they still get out every now and then when they can. We're working real hard to get some of Dad's music and videos onto the YouTube channel. Dad has videoed bluegrass festivals for, gosh, many, many years since what, Dad, the 80s, 70s, 80s?
Ever since the cameras came out.
Ever since there was video cameras coming out. So we have decades and decades of film footage, so we are going to work hard to get that information together. So
well, I'd like to sell some of it. Anybody wants some of it,
they'll have to send us a message. You can find us on Facebook under Leonard Stacy or Donna Stacy. We'll try and put a link down below. Oh,
don't worry about that squirrel.
Oh, I don't want to run over one of God's beautiful little creatures.
Yeah, we stop here and skin it and eat it.
We ain't that hungry, Daddy.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, I'm sure them Stanley brothers ate plenty of squirrel living back up here off this mountain.
Well, they also done a lot of coon hunting up here.
Now, we were talking about the fact that these roads are paved, as you can see. They're still pretty narrow, but they're paved. But wasn't too long ago, they were all gravel roads.
It wasn't gravel. They were dirt roads, Donna.
Well, they were dirt roads when you were younger, but when I was up here early 20s, they were gravel, and now they've graduated to hardtop. But a point being that I was trying to make is that when Ralph and Carter were young, growing up, I'm sure it wasn't much but more than a trail coming up.
Well, they had sleds and mules pulling the sleds.
Is that how they got up here?
Yeah, that's how they went town back.
And I imagine you didn't go to town but ever so often when you actually needed supplies. Because as you can see, we're not even close to a town, and we've only driven a small portion of this road. Oh gosh.
Yeah, don't go down in there. It's a long way to the bottom.
And there's no rails. Yep, if you look off to the side here, oh, it goes down about 1,000 feet. And it's pretty narrow, so I'm going to slow down right in through here. Somebody's coming around this corner.
I'll see if I can get down in there. I don't know if I can or not. Got that rail in my way.
It sure is pretty up through here, though. I think I'm holding up traffic.
Don't worry about them. Don't worry about the traffic. They'll have to stay behind you. They can't pass, so just don't worry about them. Yeah.
I feel like I've been on a roller coaster for a few days now. But we hope you're enjoying this video. Like I say, we're trying to document this whole experience. This how would you call it, Dad? This is a place in time that no longer exists. We're actually in, like Ralph Stanley was a living legend. Well, we are here in I guess I would say in a way we're in the past of being here. Historical places, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it just is beautiful. Look down there, Dad. Can you get down there? Oh, I passed it.
Yeah, I can't get too much that way.
So we sure hope you're enjoying our video. Now we're almost to the top of the mountain, and up here we actually are on Smith Corners according to the GPS. So Ralph Stanley and Carter Stanley, their mama was Lucy Smith. A lot of people don't know that. So they call this Smith Ridge up through here, and this is Smith Corners here.
Go down over the hill here now.
Oh, yep, down over the hill.
Yeah.
Are we sure there's a road down there? Oh, there is. Look at there.
Yeah, there's a road there. We're coming up right around the corner.
There's Tanya's house, Ralph's youngest daughter. She lives up here by the festival. And I believe we've made it, Daddy.
Well, yeah, we're going to come up to the gates here shortly, but show you a few campers here when we go right around this curve to the left.
We're happy to see they've had such a wonderful turnout. So we are at the top of the mountain now, and again, this is the 50th anniversary.
Now you can see a few campers out there. He's got so many campers he can't hardly find a place to park. But we will find a place to park.
Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the journey. Ricky Skaggs will be up here tomorrow. Maybe we can get him on video. We'll see.
Now you want to cut it off?
I do.
Or you want to just hold it while that...
Well, we're going to say goodbye. You ready to say goodbye?
Well, goodbye. I'm glad to give you a little trip up the mountain there on Ralph Stanley and Carter Stanley Highway.
All right. Thanks, y'all. And you tune in again.